Well, hello there, my dears. Come in, come in. It's your grandma here, and oh boy, do I have a story for you today. Wah. I was just sitting here with my afternoon tea. Earl Grey, if you must know. And I came across the most outrageous story on the Reddit. Yes, I know what the Reddit is. My grandson showed me. All the young people sharing their troubles on there. And let me tell you, some of these stories, they make our old family dramas look like Sunday picnics. Now, before we get into today's tale of wedding woe and sister drama, if you're new here, welcome to Grandma's Corner of the Internet. Make yourself comfortable. Grab yourself a cup of tea or coffee. Maybe some cookies if you've got them. And settle in. And if you've been here before, well, bless your heart for coming back. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, dear. Just click that little button down there. It helps this old lady keep sharing stories with you wonderful people. Now, today's story is a doozy. We're talking about weddings, money, jealous sisters, and the kind of family drama that makes you want to hide in the attic during Thanksgiving. So let me put on my reading glasses here. Ah, there we go. Let's begin. This story comes from a young woman. Let's call her Sarah, though that's not her real name. Who's 33 years old. She has a younger sister named Jamie, who's 31. Now, Jamie just got engaged a few months ago, and honey, she is deep into wedding planning. And when I say deep, I mean she's in so deep she's practically swimming in wedding magazines and drowning in tulle. Now here's where it gets interesting. Their parents, and bless these parents, by the way, gifted both daughters $25,000 each when they got engaged. $25,000. Can you imagine? When your grandfather and I got married, my father gave us a cow and a handshake. A cow. But I suppose times have changed. Anyway, this money was meant to help with wedding expenses and to give the young couples a little nest egg to start their lives together. Very generous, very thoughtful. Now, Sarah, our storyteller, got married 2 years ago to her husband. And you know what? They were practical about it. Oh, I like this girl already. They had a small, intimate wedding ceremony in her parents' backyard. She wore her mother's old wedding dress. Oh, that just warms my heart, wearing your mother's dress. That's tradition, that's love, that's... Oh, I'm getting misty-eyed just thinking about it. Where was I? Oh, yes. So they had this lovely little backyard wedding. Their only expenses were food and a photographer. Simple, sweet, meaningful. And because they kept it simple, they were able to save $20,000 of that gift money and put it right into their savings account. Smart. Very smart. That's the kind of financial responsibility you want to see in young people. Now, Sarah and her husband were very happy with their wedding day. They celebrated their love. They were surrounded by family, and they started their marriage on solid financial ground. Sounds perfect, doesn't it? But oh no. Not everyone was happy. You see, little sister Jamie had opinions, and not the good kind of opinions. Not the, oh, how lovely, how intimate kind of opinions. No. Jamie spent every single family event after Sarah's wedding, and I mean every single one, gossiping about how Sarah's wedding was so trashy and cheap. Can you believe that? Her own sister. Trashy and cheap. Those were the words she used. Now let me tell you something, children. I've been to fancy weddings. I've been to simple weddings. I've been to weddings in ballrooms and weddings in barns. And you know what makes a wedding beautiful? Love, not the price tag, not the number of roses in the centerpieces, not whether you had a 12-tier cake or cupcakes from the grocery store. But apparently, Jamie expected more from her sister because, get this, Sarah works as a software engineer, and her husband is a surgeon. They make good money, yes. They could have afforded a fancier wedding if they wanted to. But they didn't want to. And that's their choice. Sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me have a sip of tea here. All right, where were we? So, fast forward to now. It's Jamie's turn to get married, and oh boy, does she have plans. Big plans. Expensive plans. The kind of plans that make your checkbook weep and your credit cards hide in fear. She wants to go all out for her wedding. Now, I wouldn't have a problem with that if she could afford it. If you've got the money and you want a grand celebration, go right ahead. Dance under crystal chandeliers. Have ice sculptures. Hire a band and a DJ and a string quartet. But here's the thing, my dears. Jamie can't afford it. Instead of planning within her means, she's become, and I'm using the exact words from the story here, a greedy bridezilla. She's been asking anyone and everyone for cash. Relatives, friends, probably the mailman for all we know. Her parents already gave her the $25,000. That's her share, just like Sarah got, fair and square. But when she asked for more, her parents said no. Good for them. You have to set boundaries with these things. Other family members have chipped in here and there. Maybe $5,000 total combined. But it's not enough. It's never enough for someone who's spending beyond their means. And here's where the real drama begins. Jamie knows that. Sarah saved that $20,000 from the original wedding gift. And Jamie knows that Sarah and her husband have quite a bit of money saved up because of their good salaries. So what does Jamie do? She starts asking Sarah, non-stop, the story says non-stop, to give her that $20,000 as a wedding gift. Can you imagine the audacity? The sheer unmitigated gall? But wait, it gets better. Or worse, depending on how you look at it. Jamie's not just asking for the $20,000. Oh no, that would be too simple. She's also asking Sarah to pay for other wedding events. The bridal shower, the bachelorette party, the rehearsal dinner, the honeymoon. She wants her sister to pay for her romantic vacation with her new husband. Now, Jamie has her reasoning, of course. She says that Sarah and her husband could easily afford to gift her these things. And here's her trump card. Sarah gifted their cousin a honeymoon vacation as a wedding gift last year. Now, that's an interesting little detail, isn't it? Sarah did give an expensive gift to a cousin. So Jamie's asking, why can't you do something similar for your only sibling when you did it for a cousin? And you know what? On the surface, that might sound reasonable. Family should come before cousins in theory, right? But let me tell you why Jamie's argument is about as solid as a chocolate teapot. First of all, just because Sarah gave an expensive gift to one person doesn't mean she's obligated to give expensive gifts to everyone. Maybe she and that cousin were particularly close. Maybe that cousin didn't spend 2 years calling her wedding trashy and cheap at every family gathering. And that brings us to Sarah's response. When Jamie kept pestering her for money, Sarah finally told her the truth. She said, and I'm paraphrasing here, I don't want to give you anything after the way you treated me following my own wedding. Good for her. Good for her for standing up for herself. Sarah told Jamie that she doesn't want to financially support someone who didn't support her on her own big day. And you know what? That's fair. That's completely 100% fair. If you spend 2 years trash-talking someone's wedding, calling it cheap and trashy to anyone who'll listen, you can't then turn around and expect that same person to bankroll your wedding. But of course, Jamie didn't take this well. Now she's going around telling the whole family that Sarah is extremely selfish and immature. Selfish! Can you believe it? Sarah's the selfish one in this scenario, not the bridezilla demanding $20,000 and free wedding expenses. No, it's Sarah who's selfish for not wanting to fund her sister's extravagant wedding after being insulted for 2 years. The nerve. The absolute nerve. But here's where it gets even more dramatic, if you can believe it. Apparently, Jamie has already put down deposits on a lot of services and vendors for her big plans. She booked venues, caterers, florists, photographers. Probably a Dove release and a fireworks display for all I know. And she put deposits down on all of them. But here's the kicker. She did all of this expecting Sarah to help pay for it. She spent money she didn't have, based on the assumption that her sister, the sister whose wedding she mocked relentlessly, would just hand over thousands of dollars. She didn't ask first. She didn't confirm. She just went ahead and made these financial commitments, expecting someone else to bail her out. And now, she has no way of paying these vendors, and she can't get her deposits back either. So guess what the family is saying? Voice dripping with sarcasm. They want Sarah to help Jamie out so she doesn't lose the little money she already has. Let me get this straight. Jamie, number 1, insulted Sarah's wedding for 2 years. Number 2, called it trashy and cheap to everyone in the family. Number 3, made expensive commitments she couldn't afford. Number 4, did so assuming her sister would pay for it without asking first. And now the family thinks Sarah should bail her out. Sarah ends her story by saying, "I just don't see how this is my problem." And she asks, "Am I the asshole?" Let me tell you something right now, dear. You are not the asshole. Not even a little bit. Not even at all. Grandma. All right, my dears. Let me give you my thoughts on this whole mess, because I've been around long enough to see this kind of drama play out more times than I can count. Counts on fingers. First of all, let's talk about weddings. I've been married for 52 years. 53 in March, if the good Lord's willing. And I can tell you right now, the amount of money you spend on your wedding has nothing to do with the quality of your marriage. Your grandfather and I got married in a little church, with maybe 30 people there. My dress cost $40. We had cake and punch in the church basement. Our honeymoon was driving to his parents' cabin for the weekend. And you know what? It was perfect. Because we were together, we were in love, and we were starting our life as a team. This modern obsession with expensive weddings, spending $50,000, $100,000, going into debt for one day, it's madness. Absolute madness. And what Jamie did, mocking her sister's simple, lovely wedding because it wasn't expensive enough, that tells me everything I need to know about her values. She cares more about appearances than substance, more about impressing people than celebrating love. Shame on her. Really, shame on her. Now let's talk about family obligation. Yes, family should help each other. Yes, siblings should support one another. But support goes both ways. You can't tear someone down and then expect them to build you up. Jamie spent 2 years, bad-mouthing her sister's wedding at family events. Every holiday, every birthday party, every Sunday dinner, probably. Just running her mouth about how cheap and trashy it was. And now she wants $20,000, plus a bridal shower, plus a bachelorette party, plus a rehearsal dinner, plus a honeymoon. That's not asking for help. That's demanding a blank check. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Grandma, Sarah did give an expensive gift to her cousin. Doesn't that seem hypocritical? No, it doesn't. First, we don't know the relationship Sarah had with that cousin. Maybe they were very close. Maybe that cousin supported Sarah at her wedding. Second, giving one person an expensive gift doesn't obligate you to give everyone expensive gifts. That's not how gift-giving works. And third, most importantly, that cousin probably didn't spend 2 years insulting Sarah. You know what they say? You catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. Well, Jamie's been serving up nothing but vinegar for 2 years, and now she's wondering why Sarah isn't giving her honey. Now let's address the real problem here. Jamie's financial irresponsibility. This young woman put down deposits on services she couldn't afford, assuming someone else would pay for them. That's not just poor planning. That's financial recklessness. And now the family wants Sarah to bail her out so she doesn't lose her. Deposit money? Absolutely not. That's not Sarah's responsibility. Jamie made her bed. Now she has to lie in it. Sometimes the best lessons are learned the hard way. If the family is so concerned about Jamie losing her deposits, they can chip in more money. But they don't want to, do they? No. It's easier to pressure Sarah because they know she has the money. This is what we call enabling, my dears. If they bail Jamie out now, she'll never learn to live within her means. She'll just keep making poor decisions and expecting other people to fix them. Look, I understand wanting a nice wedding. I do. Every bride wants her day to be special and memorable. But special doesn't have to mean expensive. Memorable doesn't require going into debt. Some of my favorite weddings I've attended were simple affairs. Backyard barbecues, community hall receptions, homemade decorations. They were beautiful because they were filled with love and joy, not because they cost a fortune. And Sarah's wedding, by her own account, was exactly that. Simple, sweet, and meaningful. The fact that Jamie couldn't see the beauty in that says more about Jamie than it does about the wedding. So here's my verdict, and you can take it or leave it. Sarah is not the asshole, not by a long shot. She has every right to protect her money and her peace of mind. She has every right to say no to someone who treated her poorly. She has every right to set boundaries with her sister. And let me tell you something else. Saying no to unreasonable requests doesn't make you selfish. It makes you smart. It makes you self-respecting. It makes you someone who understands that you can't pour from an empty cup. Jamie needs to learn several lessons here. 1. Treat people the way you want to be treated. 2. Live within your means. 3. Don't make financial commitments based on assumptions. 4. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Or in this case, you can't insult someone's cake and then expect them to pay for yours. The family members pressuring Sarah need to back off. They're making this situation worse by taking Jamie's side. What they should be doing is teaching Jamie about financial responsibility and the consequences of her actions and her words. Now, if I could give Sarah some advice, and I know she's not actually here, but I'll say it anyway, I'd tell her to stand firm. Don't let the family pressure get to you. Don't let guilt make you do something you'll resent later. Your sister made her choices. You're not responsible for fixing them. And maybe, just maybe, this will be a wake-up call for Jamie. Maybe she'll realize that actions have consequences, that words have power, and that you can't treat people poorly and then expect them to come running when you need something. Maybe this will even repair their relationship eventually. Because right now, that relationship is broken, and throwing money at it isn't going to fix it. What might fix it? Jamie apologizing. Jamie acknowledging how hurtful her words were. Jamie taking responsibility for her own decisions. But that's up to Jamie. All Sarah can do is protect herself and her boundaries. Well, my dears, that's the story for today. Quite the tale, wasn't it? Weddings. They bring out the best in people and the worst in people, sometimes both at the same time. You know, I always say that how people treat you when they want something from you says a lot about their character, and how they treat you when you say no. That says even more. My tea's gone cold while I was talking. That's what happens when you get me started on family drama. But that's why you're here, isn't it? To hear this old lady share these wild stories and give her 2 cents. If you enjoyed today's story, please do give this video a thumbs up. It helps more people find these videos, and it lets me know you want to hear more stories. And speaking of more stories, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Just click that subscribe button down below. It's free, it's easy, and it means the world to this grandma. And between you and me, I've got some even juicier stories lined up for next time. We're talking mother-in-law drama, inheritance disputes, and a story about a wedding dress that'll make your jaw drop. Before I go, let me leave you with this little piece of wisdom. Family is important, yes, but being family, it doesn't give anyone the right to walk all over you. It's okay to set boundaries. It's okay to say no. And it's okay to protect your peace. Don't let anyone, sister, brother, parent, cousin, or otherwise, make you feel guilty for having self-respect. All right, my darlings, I'm going to go reheat this tea and maybe have a biscuit. You all take care of yourselves. Be kind to others, but don't forget to be kind to yourselves, too. Until next time, this is Grandma signing off. Bye. Bye now. And don't forget to subscribe.